I asked before the break. We got derailed by bike cop conversation. I asked before the break, and our daily ticker is coming up at the bottom. We'll get to some more reaction, I think, from some of our guests. Yogi Roth, Ryan Abraham. We had Dan Lanning on primetime yesterday, as we do every Thursday, usually at 4 o'clock. So we had Pate on, and he did an early ticker stop yesterday, or stop on the show, I should say. His 7:40 time couldn't happen. And it's something I feel like I've been hearing and reading and seeing this year has been like USC, because right now I think technically they're number one in the recruiting rankings.
They are.
Now, as you have pointed out, that's more about body count, because
it's a volume of kids,
is higher at other places. But I keep seeing and hearing the narrative that USC the trajectory is going up, that this is finally, he has figured this out, it's going the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of been bucking against that a little bit. And part of the reason I do is because, well, I just don't trust them on the road, which is why I don't think they'll win on Saturday. Two, he came into the conference, which I highly applauded and said, look out for this dude. He had 11-3 that year. He had Caleb Williams win the Heisman Trophy.
Yep, they were in the Pac-12 championship game, and they got steamrolled by Utah.
And after that, 8-5, 7-6. Now, they're 8-2 to his credit, so maybe I'm wrong here. But I don't know if I'm willing to buy that this is indeed going to start a nice run of dominance or competing at the top of their new conference. Here was Josh Pate on why he thinks USC is actually making progress as this perennial power.
You got to consider where they will have started. So they started in a really bad place. So even if they've gotten to where they're just pretty good, that is progress. So pretty good to me would be they beat Michigan by running the football against Michigan. That's something I don't think they would have done 2 years ago. They beat Iowa playing that style of game. Now, you could talk about any conditions and caveats you want to throw on the games, but they won the game. They went and beat Nebraska. Well, yeah, but Dylan Raiola went down. That's true, but they won it in an ugly fashion. So those are the kind of things I would look at, and I would say, yeah, this is not – I mean, we're not looking at USC saying, boy, this is Ohio State West Coast. No, it's not that. It's not even Oregon South. It's not that yet. But from the starting point they were at to how they've improved on the total defensive numbers, how they've improved on being able to run the ball. Even I think a couple of you got carries for them last week. So if that's how I'm looking at USC, I can make the argument they've improved. Now, they're still a long way from where they need to be considered one of the best in the sport. So we always have to speak conditionally about it.
So there was Josh Pate on our show yesterday. Also had some good stuff on Lane Kiffin. If you want to catch that podcast, you can at 105.1 The Fan. What say you, Andy Dirt Johnson? Do you buy the trajectory of USC is indeed, are you buying that the stock is going up? Or are you with me that you're not quite convinced that this is going to become some 10-plus win team every year?
Yeah, it's very funny because I think a lot of what he is saying is correct. They're a better team this year than they have been the last 2 years. They're better defensively in almost every metric. They're better running the football, and they're more balanced offensively than they've been in a while. They have won quote-unquote Big Ten-style games this year, and they didn't do any of that last year. The Iowa game was a dogfight, and they were down in the first half and had to come back and win it in bad weather. And the Michigan game, I don't know how good Michigan is this year. They barely beat Northwestern last week. I'm kind of, hit and miss on Michigan a little bit, but it's a team that we know has a good talent profile, and they dominated that football game. That was never even in doubt or in contention. And so I think it's absolutely fair to say that they're heading in the right direction. Now, what does that direction lead to is the question that I'm having a very hard time answering. Because if they lose this weekend, which maybe they don't, maybe they win at Autzen and their offense goes off, then by all means we'll say, look at that, they're heading in the right direction. They're probably going to the college football playoff. If they lose the game, let's say the final's 35-21, and Oregon's defense kind of handles them, and Oregon runs the football as much as they want to, and they get bullied at the line of scrimmage, and that's the way the game goes. 9-3 is a step in the right direction. I think it's also an indicator, though, that they're still a long ways away from being the USC that we thought they were going to be under Lincoln Riley. If this was year one of Lincoln Riley, I would have no problem saying, look at the progress. Look what they're doing. They're clearly going in the right direction. Give him time. He's going to get there. It's weird because he's in year 4. And if he wins this game, it'll be an unbelievable season for him going 10-2. And if Lanning loses this game, it'll be, well, what's wrong with Oregon? And he's going to likely go 10-2 this season as well. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very much in the middle of this. They're definitely making progress. I also think they're a long ways away from being a legitimate contender.
Yeah, The tough part I have is like if I took everything about last weekend, the weather and the stylistic nature of the game between Iowa and USC, but I put you in Kinnick, who wins the game?
I would pick Iowa to win the game because
So would
there's
I.
not a lot of trust in USC on the road.
I know what the record says. I grew up being a fan of this team. I don't think Michigan is that amazing.
No.
I understand.
Especially at home. They're a different team at home and on the road.
I understand they can run the football, but again, last weekend you can make an argument. Had a lot of moments to lose that game against Northwestern. So I don't really know how much stock I put. And then when you do the home road splits, right? We noted this. Jeff Schwartz had this. I should have brought this up, but
I can pull it up. I got it right here in my notes.
Jeff Schwartz tweeted out the home road splits, and like they may not be the most eye-popping differences, but they're still massively different numbers.
Some of them are massive.
From where they go from home as a team versus on the road as a team.
Their points per game at home this year is 45.3. Their points per game on the road is 27.5. That's
almost double.
That's a massive gap. Their points allowed at home, 19.2. Points allowed on the road, 25.5. So about a touchdown difference.
By the way, the home numbers with their points per game, Missouri State at home, 73. Georgia Southern at home, 59.
That'll help you a little
Those two numbers right there alone just boost that number up.
Yards per play on offense, 8.4 at home, 6 on the road. Yards per play on defense, 5.22 allowed at home, 6.08 on the road. You just go up and down. Third down on offense, 59% at home, 43% on the road. On defense on third down, 31% getting off the field, 45% on the road. It goes up and down depending on where they're playing.
Rushing yards at home against Michigan, extraordinary. Yes. Rushing yards on the road at Notre Dame, sub 70.
Had a difficult time doing it.
It's not that USC can't do it. It's more like I think we're so desperate to have another West Coast, like a true West Coast team be at an Oregon level.
Yeah.
That I think the minute it smells similar or looks kind of same record-wise, people want to anoint it. Now, I don't know where Washington's going to go if Fish stays, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. They're not there. Washington State and Oregon State are in sub-conferences. UCLA sucks. Stanford's irrelevant, and Cal is just middling. So, and USC is such a blue blood brand that dominated for so many years of all of our lives, despite how old most of the people are out there, that I think that when they get close to this, people are ready to anoint it a little before seeing it for longer stretches, where I think your point is accurate. If Oregon loses this weekend to USC, one, this will have aged very poorly, and people will blame me probably for the loss because, I play and I coach in the game.
You do. Why'd you call that play on third down?
But also, people will be quick to point out Dan Lanning's failures.
Hey, he didn't make the playoff. What's wrong in Eugene?
Yeah, it just as easily as we're ready to anoint the proverbial media or fans, USC, the same contingent is ready to downplay or negate Oregon the minute they have a hiccup.
Yeah, and I would just say, I don't know I think the expectation for USC fan coming into the year was pretty level-headed. I don't think they came in thinking we can win a national championship, nor should we compete.
No.
I think Meringue, said they win 8-9 games. That's a good year, and they've already won 8. If they win this, I think they're going to beat UCLA at the end of the year.
But year 4 with Lincoln is not a good year. I don't care.
Right, that's the weird part about it. Is
year.
So if you want to tell me they're trending in the right direction, I will allow you to make that argument because they've gotten better win-loss record-wise, and again, there are a lot of metrics that point to it. I guess I would just ask, when do we hold them accountable? Sark is getting killed for going 9-3 this year. He's in his 4th year at Texas. He's getting killed for the season that he is having.
They were 7-6 last year, USC.
Yes, and so
7-6.
I get it that it's progress, but at what point do we hold them to a USC standard? At what point are you this isn't the Civil War where it's golly gee willikers, let's see if Oregon State can hang with Oregon. You're USC, man. You're the blue blood program on the West Coast. You're not some little engine that could. Their schedule next year, they go to Indiana, to Penn State. I don't know how good either of those teams will be.
Yeah.
You get Ohio State at home, you got Oregon at home, you got Washington at home, and you got Notre Dame. That's a tough schedule next year. And so if you want to tell me progress is being made, I will allow it. I would then just follow up and say, well, what's the expectation then next year? If they go 8-4, 9-3 again next year, are we going to say they're still making progress and then it's year 5 and you still haven't made a playoff? Maybe they can shut everybody up. They went on the road at Eugene this weekend, which they absolutely have the chance to do with their offense and how explosive. And Oregon's been clunky at times offensively this year. Slow start from Oregon's offense, fast start from USC's offense. All of a sudden, you got yourself a tight little ball game. But if they are to lose, I just would then ask, when does that pressure build to say, Like, you got to do it at some point. You got to put it together on the road for an entire year.
Yeah, I think that's well said. The final thing I'll add, and then we'll go to the ticker here, is I think that another part of me being hesitant to buy the way people talk about them and their trajectory, you can point to everything on their roster. I have no clue who's going to be back for them. That's what the sport lends itself to, is like, until I see you do it for a few years in a row, I don't know how confident I am that, this guy's back next year and that guy's back. Like, okay, let's wait and see on that.
Yeah.
I thought Sam Levitt would be back, and now there's rumors he might be hitting the portal. Like,
I mean, their top target last year was Zachariah Branch, and now he plays for Georgia.
He gone.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a wait and see for me. I'm not ready to anoint them. It's all going to be great next year, and they take that step like they should.
They got to show it on the road. They got a massive prove-it opportunity this week, even with a close, like, just hang in the ball game, show that you can hang at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And I think then the argument of you going in the right direction is much more believable.